So, man, we had a whole thing.
That was a Newton gone wrong.
Treacherous.
Really upset about that. I was like, that. No, not today. Not today. Come on. Good evening. And the time is, of course, on the East Coast, 8 o'clock, and I'm here in the Central, so it is a beautiful 7 o'clock. And as you can see, I got our homegirl with us.
Hey.
Tiolana is in the house as we sit on this wonderful comfy couch.
Hey, y'all.
And have some conversation.
Believe me, they're going to be good tonight. So make sure you tune in and press the share button, like, and follow, and tell all you crazy little friends.
Look.
Go ahead and do it.
Click it, click like, click share. Join in, get the magic going. You know it's a wonderful evening to share some good laughter, good joy, good wisdom. And of course, yes. Hey Lena, it's good to see you, my love. I'm gonna pay these bills. Hey.
Hope y'all dancing at home.
So what's you feeling like? Hey mom, how you doing? Good to see you.
I hope you jamming at home.
I see Jock on here. Hey. Minneapolis is in the house.
Minneapolis in the house. Hey.
Justice is bringing in the sound. Y'all know how we do. Come on and click some like and share. Sharing this moment with me. You are way more than enough, so go ahead. Do what you love. That's what we do best here.
What? Life what? Oh.
Fashion.
Concept.
Yes, beautiful people. Good evening. I'm your host, Jay Exodus Hooper. Hey, Carolyn, come on in the room, honey. Like I said, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to Keep Living. Keep Living is, of course, a wonderful show for the beautiful experience to just kind of take a break, right? A little 20-minute, 30-minute break from already your Monday, because I'm sure if you ran into a Monday, you ran into a hard Monday.
Sure did.
And if you didn't run into a hard Monday, then you probably gonna run into a hard Tuesday. And so we just right here in the middle, so something special to soften you and help you do some self-care so you can add some culture care. Because
right.
If you're not doing self-care, I can guarantee you're not adding to the culture care. And that in many ways is detrimental to many people. It's so good to see everybody on here. Click like and share. I've got my girl with me, Tiolana. Y'all don't know, this feels so good to be. This is my third home. I know everybody's like, you live so many places. I do. This is my third home. So this couch is actually my bed.
I just want to say he did make a mistake and say that he's the host, but actually he made a mistake because it's a Tia takeover today.
It's a Tia takeover today.
So I apologize for all the confusion, even though he thinks it's his show today. I'm here to take over. So for today, you can call me Tia. Any other day, I go by Tiolana, but I'm switching characters today. So I'm okay with being called Tia today. Any other day, I might not allow it, but today is okay.
So it's so good to see all of you. I guess, you know, I have to tell you. So I landed in Minneapolis, and we went grocery shopping. I've been up since about 3 a.m, worn out. Okay. Completely worn out, and so we were fortunate enough to go grocery shopping. We went to a diner that had a bullet hole in the window.
Definitely had a bullet hole.
You know, Minneapolis has changed in the past 2 years since I've physically been here.
It has.
And we went grocery shopping, and now there's a Target where.
Excuse me. Actually, the Target that we went to, the Cub that we went to, and the Target that's over there was actually affected during the George Floyd era, and after he passed away, it was like looted and they burned down the Cub Foods, and it was really bad in Minneapolis, and really now still, because a lot of the police brutality and things that are going on here, we have not fully recovered from those things.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, living in this community, we just kind of don't have the necessary resources around us to actually go to besides those stores. So they built them fairly quickly.
You know, this is interesting, and then I mean, it just felt like a little bit of a culture shock because I've been so gone, and then, you know, of course I thought I was in LA.
Oh, right, because of the homeless. Okay, so if you know about LA, then how you talking? They have like a huge homeless community where it's like tents, and like it's kind of like a city of homeless individuals. And Jay got to see that here in Minneapolis, going down Franklin, which is like Main Street. He was like, "What's going on here? This reminds me of LA." And I'm like, you know, it was bigger than this, but they've been cutting off a lot of that because of crime and stuff.
Yeah.
People have nowhere to go.
It was really large. I mean, and look, I'm not trying to throw Minneapolis under the bus. I think it's important for us to note that every city has a struggle.
Correct.
And I think it's important to know that, like, there's work that needs to be done. So, like, I'm making these observations and kind of, you know, Tia's bringing us some context. But I can tell you right now, I was really surprised, and my heart went out. And of course, I'm immediately like, what can I do? Because that's the work that I like to think about. What can we do as a community? I mean, here I am, you know, I mean, I'm probably
outsider coming from, you know, New York, Baltimore, Ohio, around the world.
Don't pretend like I only have $12. Look, I only got $12 in my bank account. Okay.
No, I think that, you know, really to help Minneapolis and to be of help here can be difficult. I think that it can be something that our city is trying to rebuild and restructure. They have tried to put money in new housing and try to build up facilities for people, but it's just so many people who are affected by homelessness.
These apartments are fabulous.
Yes, they are. For
they
people
fabulous.
Who don't got no money, for people who got money. If you don't got $0, if you got $100,000, they got nice apartments for you.
I was like, wow.
Yes, it's definitely an adjustment coming here, and you do want to help, and that is beneficial because people do come here to help. And that's something that's large here in Minneapolis.
So what's going on? You got me here now. I'm here, and you're supposed to be taking over. So I'll shut up. And
so let me tell you guys, I have some great questions here for Jay that he's not prepared for.
I'm not.
But because I am taking over, I feel the need to talk about love today. Now, if you know, then you know. I am a person who feels like I deserve love no matter what things I've been through. People ask me all the time, like, "Oh, you went through this? You still want to find love?" Yes, I do. So the question for today is, do you believe in soulmates? Now, that can come in many different facets and many different varieties if you really feel that you have a soul or that you have a spirit, which we've talked about. Now, I'm going to ask my brother, Jay, do you believe in soulmates?
So I believe, I do believe that there are soulmates. I do believe that there's a soul. And so that's possibly where I need to start. For some of my already Story is already like yes, come on, right?
Speak on it.
They're you know and right. So I do believe that there's a soul, and that is an ancestral statement.
Correct.
I'm going to be honest about that. So even if I'm talking to free thinkers and humanists too, I do believe that there is a soul. And I equate that to Greek philosophy and the idea of the psyche, a good mind, a healthy mind, a kind mind is a soul.
Mm-hmm.
I also believe in a spirit.
Okay.
Okay.
This is where we get.
Look, but if anybody asks me
Mm-hmm.
to be transparent, right, I believe there are many soulmates. Because everybody's got a soul, and I can end up having a like mind relationship with you.
Okay.
Okay. Look, you can go ahead and suck his smack your teeth. Look, that's why you didn't get no Reese's today.
Oh wait. Okay. I need to pause for a second about this story since we talk about soulmates and love and all this spiritualness. Okay. We went to the grocery store. Jay asked me. This is a heavy side note, but I need to get this out. And Jay asked me, do I want something from the candy, side when you go in to check out? I said, yes, I want something from the aisle. So I said, I don't know what I want. They got a Heath bar. They don't have. So a lady comes up and she's like, oh, they got a mint chocolate Kit Kat bar. I never had it, but mint chocolate chip is my favorite type of chocolate, right?
This thing right here. Here, look,
we're not doing advertisements. We're not getting paid for that. Okay.
Oh, that don't mean that I won't. That don't mean I won't.
So we get the mint chocolate chip Kit Kat that's new, and he's like, we're gonna share this together. And then he's like, oh, I'm gonna get these mini Reese's. So I said, okay, good. I'm thinking, I just automatically assumed, which was my fault, that he was gonna share the Reese's with me. So after the nap, after we had breakfast, after we spent time communing, I figured we was there. We sat on the couch getting ready for this wonderful show. And I asked Jay, where the chocolate at? He's like, what chocolate? I'm like, the Reese's. He's like, ain't no more. I said, what you mean? He's like, I'm sorry, honey. I don't share Reese's. Are you kidding me?
I don't share Reese's.
I said, oh no. Story almost put him back on the plane. Right back to Baltimore with Brian to be like, no, you gotta go. I'll share chocolate, okay? And I said, I'm sorry. He was like, I don't even share what Story asked. I said, I'm sorry. I love Story. But tell her I should be the only person you sharing chocolate with right now. I was a little upset. But anyways, okay, back to scheduled programming. Okay, spirit.
So, right, yeah, look, I don't share fries and I don't share Reese's, but but maybe we can talk about the soulmate thing and maybe that might change.
We are soulmates between chocolate. I don't care what he say, okay? We're gonna share some chocolate spirit, whatever.
But no, right? So of course I equate the idea that everyone has a soul. Yes, there is a psyche. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this as psyche as regarding the soul as a mind, and that we in many ways can have like-minded connections. Many people can be attracted. I mean, as someone, especially as a polyamorous person, mm-hmm. I have to be very cognizant mm-hmm. of how I am drawn to you.
Right.
What is my particularly, not necessarily just a law of attraction,
okay,
but also what is right. The need mm-hmm. that wants to connect me,
okay,
right? And so a lot of us are cognitive mm-hmm. With our soul relationships. I mean, I will say that my high school sweetheart,
okay,
she is still my soulmate. I can call her. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, "What's going on?"
Okay,
and she'll be like, how you in my business? Get out my business. Mm-hmm. If she on here today, I know she's gonna be like, that's true. Because we that's the connection we have. And it's an intimate connection, but it's a deep knowing. It's a deep knowing of the mind.
So, okay, I'm gonna cut you off.
Okay, go ahead.
So you telling me that your soulmate from high school, right?
Uh-huh.
But you tell me in polyamorous world, I'm sorry, people, I am not polyamorous. I am individualized.
Individualized. I can't. Monogamous, honey. Get going.
I am, but even not monogamous because I'm in love with myself. So I do me.
Yes. Let's talk about that. That we can talk about too. That's a whole other thing.
So, I think that when you talk about spirit and being polyamorous, you are able to share your spirit with multiple people, right?
Ooh.
But when you just said about soulmate, you were only naming one person. So for me, I feel as though you are sharing your soul because that is a part of your being. So no matter how, because you've been out of high school for a little bit.
Yeah.
And to think of that person back as being your soulmate, it's still one person. But to think of where you are now in terms of spirit
I'm gonna tell you
and
right
love, here he go. I think that you are able to share a spirit because you share spirit in multiple ways, because you have spirit in terms of being awake, spirit in terms of being in daydreaming. Here we go back to this. And then spirits of actually dreaming. But then when you are awake, your soul is your being, who you are, what you live, your day to day that you give over to someone as your love, your you. And sometimes you can't be with that person.
This is interesting. Okay, now you got me thinking. Because now no. Well, hold on, because I want to be very clear, because you brought up a few factors. You brought up a lot of factors for me. One thing is the polyamory, which is I mean, we could consume this show for an hour talking about that, so I won't do that to most of you on here. And the other thing is right, like, I mean, I met Storey in 2011. And it was a transformational moment. So it's really hard for me to think about the idea of or experiencing in the way that you've experienced what you're talking about.
I have not experienced
because for me, Storey is not a soulmate.
Right.
She's a spirit mate.
But that's because she met you at that point of where your spirit needed to meet her, right? You already had you are meeting her at the love where she's able to connect with you most, right?
This is the fact, and this is the fact because there was something that transformed in me. Now I'm gonna be old school and a holiness Pentecostal for a minute, and I want to bring this in because I was raised with the understanding that, that the spirit has a way of kind of ushering you in many ways. It offers you a transformational experience of love as a form of chastisement, and things like that. I received that from her. It was the first time that I was able, which is why I can tell you the conversations that I have on this show, the way that I show up is because of the way that she ushered me into my own. While I was in my own discomfort, she ushered me into comfort.
Correct.
Okay. So that's a very solid tool. It's very hard for people because I don't think we run into a lot of people that we meet.
Right.
That allows for us to be, fearlessly vulnerable.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here. So, transformational and meeting at a starting point, I would say, in a new life, right? Because who you met previously in high school was not your starting point.
No, that was a different place.
Correct.
That was a whole different jet.
Exactly. So this is your starting point. This is your life.
Come on today. And
to transform and have your adaptability, because you know how I feel about transformation.
I'm all about
it. Is different. So for me, I will say that Storey is your soulmate because she is not your spirit mate, because your spirit mate is who really transforms and evolves around your love and your being, but your soulmate is inside you, and that is your being. Storey is your being because you two have, again, correct me if I'm wrong, that connection of being a unit. That is your wife.
We do say, when we get off the phone, we say, I live you.
Yes.
We don't say, I love you. We say, I live you. And that is because there is a reflection there. and even as, as a poly, poly configuration and in having those things as well, I think, what we have been able to do because of the love we share for each other and the way that we are committed to living out our truth with each other.
Correct.
We are able to share, with our partners of love.
Correct. So you know what I call that?
What?
The center of the earth. Correct. And then you have the water and the states and the grass and all these things that make up that center earth. So you two started that center.
There's a real
earth,
cultivation,
right?
yeah.
And that is the soul. That is what encompasses.
That's interesting,
that, right? And then you have the roots that kind of build out into those spirits and those. Because if you think about soul and spirit, for me, I think that soul is what encompasses the tree. I'm gonna use a tree. So a soul encompasses the tree, the foundation, and then the spirits are the branches that come out, and then the dreams are the leaves that come off of those spirits that make it into the reality of becoming that love that we're talking about. So your soul is what is the basis of, and spirits come from what you have in your soul. Because if you think of spirits modern day and here, spirits are like, we could be sitting here right now and we see somebody pop up and be standing here and we'd be like, oh, whoa, okay. It's like
she tried to put us in apparitions and give
us
honey.
Given like what people see today and like how we normally
there is that. There is that. John, I can't with you. John just said, what wine are y'all drinking? Because I need some of that spirit juice. Come on today. Look. I think I'm with you, and I'm with you in definitely sitting with the framework that you're offering. I think where my framework is situated, and this is because I am being philosophical about it.
Yes.
I mean, right? I am talking about, like, if we looked at Greek, we would say that, it's the psyche. The psyche is the mind.
Yes.
And so therefore, when we talk about the soul as a psyche, then therefore the mind, then I'm saying like-minded. If I talk about spirit, then I would have to, use my Greek and Latin all over again. Here it is. And let's just be real. I am a philosopher.
Correct.
I do enjoy that. I am a theologian and I'm an artist. And so I'm not going to pretend like I'm not coming from a particular vein.
Bias.
Vein. Okay, bias, honey. So right, but at the same time, right? Like what I do here is I also hear what you're doing, where you're saying like currently.
Correct.
Because our term is that, do you have a soulmate?
Yes.
Right? And the thing is that most people would say, oh yes, I do, and it's very casual for me.
Right, but
when
if you
I
don't
hear
know
it,
that it's not as casual.
So this is why I'm very particular about reclaiming narratives. This is where I go. So this is why you hear me lean more to the idea of spirit more so than soul, because everybody seems to have a soulmate, but most people ain't being fulfilled in their soul.
Okay.
And so what you've got a lot of people falling in love with, quote, soulmates, but nobody ever really wants to spend time with that who really fulfills their soul, which is the spirit.
Okay.
And so if you're gonna be filled, okay, now that's a theological thing. That's old school. Come on, some folk might know about that.
Okay.
You would want to be filled
Yes.
with anything that is just,
yes.
anything that is pure, anything that is lovely, anything that in many ways is a transformational experience that causes you to want to look at yourself.
Okay.
And in many ways has enjoyed the fact that you,
right,
in many ways, have fallen in love with yourself.
Correct.
See, that's how I go with the spirit, because the spirit lets me know I've fallen in love with myself.
So I need to ask.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Now, because now we didn't hit a different level that my brain has been working. Because he said that now modern day soulmate has become like
casual. It's a thing. Yeah.
Okay. But you know what word I've heard most? That's so casual.
What?
Love.
Oh, honey.
I love this food. I love my animals. I love my hair. I love this shirt. I love my pants. I love this couch. But it is not the love that we speak of when I say, I love you.
You know, let me tell you something. This is good. This is good that you said this because I was writing the email. Now, I'm a Scorpio. Everything I do is out of love.
Right. Casual.
Right.
Casual.
Everything I do out of love. I do it out of love. I'll call you out of love. I work because I love. I convict you because I love. Because I Scorpio loves in a real different kind of ethos.
Come on now.
And I'm going to tell on us because that's what we
do.
That's what
Please
we are.
do, because I'm here for it.
And the truth of the matter is that even with that, I was writing an email. Mm-hmm. And I am able to, use a variety of vernacular, mm-hmm. but I often do just to express the level of excitement and compassion. I will say, I just love, I love to see you. I look forward and love to speak with you soon. I will attach love because I want people to experience mm-hmm. truly the genuineness and the authenticness of what I am offering. So I do attach it to love. Mm-hmm. Now watch this though. I had to do something different the other day because it really hit me hard. Was this echo while I was preparing to write this email, and I decided to use the word love. Mm-hmm. I said, I would love to spend time with you. And then I paused on the email. And I really got shook because something basically just kind of rested on me and was just like, let me not give myself away mm-hmm. that easily. Watch this. Let me not give myself away that easily. Mm-hmm. I had to be very considerate of my capacity.
Correct.
To share the actual, genuine, authentic compassion that I was going to share with that person. Mm-hmm. It needed to be on reserve, mm-hmm. not because I wanted to withhold mm-hmm. or because I was reluctant, but because I needed to be able to understand my capacity to share myself in a very genuine way and understand that it would not necessarily be reciprocated in the same vein.
Correct.
And so I wrote the email again, and instead of and I changed the word love to I would enjoy spending time with you.
Oh, right.
Right. It would be enthusiastic to spend mm-hmm. time with you. It would be, so I began to really develop another formation of vernacular mm-hmm. to really build on the level in which I want to show up and be authentic.
Correct.
And so, but it took me I really had to, right, have a need to respect the first thing that I often think, as you kind of said, you're an individual. Mm-hmm. I laid on this place of like, let's deal with the configuration, at me as a person. Mm-hmm. And I anyone who else practices ethical non-monogamy as well as monogamy, mm-hmm. as well as polyamory, whichever, or free love of any kind, you've got to do one thing. Mm-hmm. You've got to be able mm-hmm. to fall in love with the first polyamorous configuration that mm-hmm. you have, which is me, mm-hmm. myself, and I. If you do not have that framework, mm-hmm. I invite you to explore mm-hmm. that framework because it does boost up your soul.
Correct.
It does shape your spirit.
Correct.
Me, myself, and I, in a quick, short snippet, if I may, because I know we are almost at time. But when we say me, mm-hmm. we are offering a descriptive mm-hmm. formation to actually display. Hear the word there.
If people aren't able to do that, if people aren't able to even understand what you mean in terms of being descriptive in their love.
I'm getting ready to break this down.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I say me, myself, and I, we're about to break this down. Me mm-hmm. is a display, the show, mm-hmm. the presentation mm-hmm. of how you want to be seen in the world.
Okay.
On your own basis.
Right.
Me. I display me before the world. Mm-hmm. Then there is myself. And myself is a framework of possession.
Right.
Where I now am taking ownership of what I offer.
Correct.
The world.
Okay.
Right? So me is the display.
Correct.
Of how I want to see myself in the world. Myself is the framework in which I own, right? What I have contributed to the world. And then the last part is I, which is the liberatory, yes, the liberation that speaks to how you declare or proclaim yourself in the world.
Okay.
Those three formations help us practice the love that we need to know based in our own humanity. And we've got to get to a place that when we get in relationship, when we get in, right, when we get in relationship, we've got to be able to navigate what I'm presenting, not as an act of trying to draw you, but as an act of who I am towards you.
Correct.
When I display myself, it's not necessarily that I want you to own me,
right?
But I own what I have and what I offer to somebody, right? As I know my capacity. And then I have I, which is a declaration, right? That allows for me to liberate myself, to stand in my uniqueness, to be able to proclaim how I know myself. I know myself. I love myself. Those things, the me, myself, and I, is not a selfish thing. It is not self-indulgence.
No.
It is a radical epistemology of self-care. It is a radical thought of self-care.
So, really, what I take out of this is the idea and the thoughts of understanding my own soul, my own spirit, and my own love in regards to understanding it in the world. Because there are going to be discussions like we just had.
Come on today.
Where it is soul and spirit, but we connect with love. And if you cannot do that, and you cannot question what that means for you, then I think that there's another question to be answered and asked.
Right? And I'm not supposed to take away from you.
Exactly.
I mean, of course I didn't share my Reese's, but you know. I didn't share my Reese's.
I ain't gonna cuss them out.
But even on a serious note, like, right, I value the fact that we can come in from two different lenses.
Yes.
And you hear my concern for why it is important for me to reclaim a part of that narrative that is soulmate. But at the same time, I don't diminish in many ways you trying to, in many ways, offer us a healing definition for a culture that lacks healing through love.
I think too, if you think about, first of all, the English language, when you talk about different words, come on. You got where and where, there and there, all these different things. But even for ourselves, we have our own definitions for words, including love, including soulmate and spirit, because we sit here on two separate sides of definitions that kind of come together as though our language do. And I think that at the end of the day, when we bring those two together, that's how we find the definition of love in all aspects, is because you have your own definition that meet at the end of that road. So.
Yeah. No, this is, I mean, and I appreciate it. I don't know what this month will bring because I'm gonna be here for a month. Okay. So I'm with this little one, and so, and I'm on the couch.
Yes.
I'm on the couch. So this is really technically somewhat her show right now, as I'm here hosting. we might have some other guests come along who are vaccinated friendly. And come on today.
Yes.
You know, so that they can enjoy with us. But I am so excited. If you have not really, if you want to title this, find the message in here that has meaning for you.
Yes.
Title it for somebody else to
Yes.
share. And I want you to click like and share with a few good folk so they can tune in and get their look, their mid-weekend fix. Because
Yes.
tomorrow's hump day. And I ain't trying to get involved in nobody's humpy hump. Okay. Woo. All right. So y'all go ahead, kick this music. It was a great time being with you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. You are way more than enough. I'm your host. We have to go to evangelist. And I'm your real host, Tia Londa Hunter. But tonight I was about Tia.
I love y'all.
Be
So
good,
good
be
to
good,
see
be
y'all.
good.
Be with y'all again tonight. It was awesome. That was such a good show. I can't